Well, it's that time again. Let's walk in faith, talk about anime, and grow together. Welcome to Reb's Otaku Talk. Hey Otaku fam, welcome back to Rev's Otaku Talk, the podcast where faith and fandom collide. I'm your host Rev, and with me are my co-host Raver Mom.
Hi.
And our new guy, Techs-Mechs.
What's up, guys?
Wow, so mellow, man, so mellow. And this is Season 3, The Character of Characters. In this season, we'll be taking a deep dive into the hearts, minds, and moral journeys of some of the most unforgettable characters in anime. This season, we're going to go beyond the battles, beyond the art, beyond the hype. We're breaking down what truly makes a character compelling. Their choices, their struggles, their growth, and what their stories can teach us about purpose, identity, and perseverance. From heroes to villains, side characters to legends, we'll explore how character shapes their story and how it can shape ours. So power up, press play, and get ready, because this is Rev's Otaku Talk. Let's get started. Today's episode, we are going to take a look at the character of Takumi Fujiwara from the Akina Speed Stars in Initial D. Takumi Fujiwara is a quiet, unassuming street racer at the heart of Initial D. A high school student who unknowingly becomes a downhill legend on Mount Akina. Delivering tofu for his father's shop every morning in his iconic Toyota AE86 Trueno, Takumi develops an extraordinary driving instinct, mastering sharp turns and drifting techniques without formal training. Though he appears indifferent and often emotionless, behind the wheel he reveals intense focus, natural talent, and fearless competitive spirit. What sets Takumi apart isn't flashy confidence, but calm precision. He studies the road, adapts quickly to his opponents, and steadily grows from a reluctant racer into one of the most respected drivers in the street racing scene. Now, I've been watching this anime for well over a decade, so this is one of my top 3. I really like this one. But well, let's introduce our new guy, and then we'll see what he thinks about it, because he's a little new to this anime. This is our new co-host, Techs-Mechs, so graciously named by his wife. But we had to nerd it up a little bit, so even though he is Mexican heritage from Texas, he's also into technology and mech animes, so we did a play off of that, so it's Techs-Mechs. Technology and mech
Now I feel really
animes.
blonde. Thanks.
Blonde? Why do you feel blonde?
Because I thought it was like technology and mechanics.
Yeah, I might just name my company after that.
Your company is going to be Techs-Mechs?
Yeah, I think that's pretty genius, actually.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Don't
just
feed into his ego.
Just make sure you give me royalties for the name, okay?
Oh, goodness. His head's already big enough for his office.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about doing this for a long time already, and I was so busy putting it off, and it's about time. We linked back up recently, and I just said, yeah, let's do it. I got time off, and my days off are working for this, and I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, I've been after you since Season 1. Wow. Since Season 1. So we are like 54 episodes in. And he finally showed up.
Hey, at least he showed.
True. K2 is not here tonight. He is still sick.
I wasn't dissing K2.
I wasn't saying you were dissing K2.
K2, I love you. I miss you.
I'm the new K2.
Everybody, I was saying that, everybody who's listening to this, say a prayer for K2 that he recovers. He misses being here with us. It's one of the highlights of all our week, so he's very apologetic that he couldn't be here because he wants to be here, but we understand.
Yeah, totally.
So Techs-Mechs, we're just gonna call you Tex to make it shorter, okay?
Oh. I'm a cowboy now.
You're the computer cowboy.
I love that. I should just start talking like Yosemite Sam.
I said.
Sir, I said.
I don't need to be here.
Why not, Raver Mom?
You two are hilarious enough.
Well, I mean, so Initial D, right? I just
There's no trucks in it. Sorry.
it's definitely not.
And no tanks.
No
It's definitely not
tanks.
the SoCal racing scene, right?
No, it's
But-
okay though. He drives a Honda.
I do. Just really leaning into that stereotype. But you know, in Texas, you really see more pickup trucks than anything else.
Yeah, pickup trucks and donks.
Yeah, for the guys out there in Texas, they know what I'm talking about. You know, it's just pickup
Raver
trucks.
Mom, a donk is like an old square body car, a sedan, like the old Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs and Lincolns.
I thought he meant donkey.
Nah, and
We're getting this started off early.
and now the big one is the like 90s to early 2000s Crown Vics.
Yeah.
And they put them basically on truck suspensions, and they put the biggest wheels that they can find on there and strap them with rubber bands.
I do not take ownership for that. I've not seen that one time in my time in Texas.
Honestly,
Well, when did you move over to Florida from Texas?
2020. Late 2020. Yeah.
And you didn't see donks riding around?
No, I didn't know donk was a thing, to be honest with you.
Wow, I know more about the Texas car scene than you do, and I've never been there.
Pickups are the best thing out there. It's like a must-have. It's really a Texas starter pack.
we're moving to Texas.
Big trucks, boots, and
I
hats.
might
That's
actually
right.
get
Big
my
belt buckle.
Barbecue, guns,
truck. Texas, here we go.
all of that. It's all true.
Relocating. Go fund me. Oh my goodness.
Looks like I'm gonna start drag racing in Texas.
Yeah, we got long stretches of road for that too.
I'm talking about legally drag racing. Okay, so Techs-Mechs, what do you? What's your thoughts on Initial D? I mean, you just watched it this week.
Yeah, I tried to do the research and I was happily surprised at how good it was. I'm hooked. I'm not just saying that because, you know, it is, I know it's a big classic, you know,
Yeah.
in the anime community. I would see clips about it here and there, you know, mostly about the music. But
Yeah, I guess Eurobeat's a big thing.
yeah, and that's what kind of shocked, one of the things that shocked me at first, because I'm watching season 1, I'm not done with it, but apparently I'm watching the Tokyo Pop version.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing European about it. You know, there's no Eurobeat, there's no electronic. It's all rock and hip hop, you know, of the 2000s and
Yeah.
90s. Which actually, that's one of the things that kind of pulled me in, because it almost feels like I'm watching a movie.
Mhm.
The directing, the song placement, just the way that they arranged everything. It's like I'm watching a movie. I'm not really watching like a generic anime that
Yeah.
you see nowadays.
Well, once you get into it, Eurobeat becomes a big part of it. I know season 1, it was especially whenever you got the theme song, which is Initialize, which is a little bit of an indie punk hard rock mix type song
Yeah.
that has a little bit of an electronic backing to it. That's kind of where it starts evolving from. But once you get into the bigger races, because we were talking earlier, you've gotten to the point to where they are about to go up against the Evo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really when you start seeing a little bit of the Eurobeat starting to come in.
Yeah.
And then as you get to like the second stage and the third stage movie and the fourth stage and into the fifth, it's Eurobeat all the way.
Yeah. Interesting.
Um, yeah. So music wise, I mean that's where all the drift racers out there listen to Eurobeat. It came from Initial D.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
See, it kind of helped sculpt that scene in real life.
I don't know. I feel like watching it, I almost thought that it was upstream from the whole Fast and Furious thing. The whole, you know, street racing, rap, you know, some of that new metal rock.
Mhm.
Because Initialize, it sounds almost like, I know we're not really trying to break the music down, but I'm really into music myself.
Yeah.
But Initialize almost sounds like they're um, taking from a page out of the book of Linkin Park and that new metal scene that was coming on. So I was actually equating it more towards like the Fast and Furious racing scene, just because of the way they westernized it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more of a pure thing. Because what's really cool about Initial D is the real life Drift King. He helped consult on their pedal movement and their technique of driving, and where with Fast and the Furious, half of what they're doing is not true.
Hollywood.
It is full Hollywood. With Initial D, their driving techniques in there are beyond accurate. The scene where I think it was episode 1, maybe 2, when they are sitting down inside of the gas station watching the TV, and they're watching, a car drifting, and it's an actual real life recording in an anime. It was real footage. Yeah. And he says, he goes, "Oh, this is the Drift King. Look at how he's not even using the e-brake. He's basically, they don't say clutch kick, but that's what the technique he was showing on there." And that's actual footage of the Drift King going a practice lap around the track.
Yeah, so the show's kind of got his blessing.
So they are very accurate and true to that street racing scene in Japan. And that's the reason why Tokyo Drift became like a cult following with the Fast and the Furious, is because of the fact that they had the same guy who put his stamp on Initial D. That's the guy they had come in and do all the stunts for Tokyo Drift. Wow. All the main car stunts was done by him.
That's the other thing. Not only that I think the music was, on the terms of Fast and Furious, but when I see them racing down this mountain at night, all I can think of is that Tokyo final scene, Tokyo Drift scene, where they're facing off, going down the mountain.
It's because the Drift King was a consultant / driver.
He helped put that in there.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. So all that stuff, it's literally the anime itself was kind of orchestrated by the same guy who orchestrated the live stunts for Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason why the driving and the techniques in Tokyo Drift are more accurate. Yeah. Even though a lot of times they're not in the real car driving. In preparation for the Tokyo Drift movie, they actually took them out to a drift pad and taught each actor how to drift. So all of them actually know how to drift in real life, and that's the reason why even when they were in the rigs, their reactions and everything were accurate. It was because of the fact that they were taught how to do it.
There was a interview by the guy, I can't remember his name, but the one that plays Han.
Yeah.
Who said that after he got done with filming Tokyo Drift, he actually got a lot of tickets because he became addicted to drifting and drag racing and everything. And so he would go out and he would do it, and then he'd get in trouble.
On top of his addiction for snacks.
Yeah.
Well, his choice of car, because he had the RX-7 in the Fast and the Furious movie. He had that car, which in the anime, the RX-7 that Ryosuke drives is the same one that Han drove.
Do you know how he got it?
His dad
His dad brought him a car and tried to bribe him with the car and didn't know what kind of car it was. Bribed him with the car to try to get him to stop acting.
And it was a Mazda FD. And so whenever he did the movie, he wanted a car like his personal one. Right. So he's like, if I'm going to do this, I want an FD.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear that they're really personally invested in this.
Yeah.
It's their passion too.
Yeah. So whenever it comes to accuracy of live action, tying it into Initial D, the most accurate Fast and the Furious movie is Tokyo Drift.
And I saw another thing I noticed in Initial D, the sequences when they're racing, they look good. Like they almost look better than the hand drawn stuff themselves. And I'm usually not an advocate for the 3D, you know, entries into anime, especially not today. Even though they're doing better today with it.
Yeah.
That these sequences they're very realistic, you know, and it's not in a way where it throws you off the immersion. It does the opposite. You know, you're watching a real race on a movie because, like I said, it's already feeling like a movie.
Well, what's really cool is it becomes even more realistic once you hit MF Ghost.
Yeah.
Like the car animation takes it up a notch.
I got a long way to go.
Yeah, you did.
Those stages.
It was bad as whenever last week we were talking about this episode, and I'm like, oh, we're doing Initial D, and I've never seen it before. And I was like, well, haven't you seen MF Ghost? No. I was like, dude, you're the one who got me watching MF Ghost, and you haven't even seen it yet. Like, what in the world, man?
Yeah. But do you have to see Initial D to get MF Ghost?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Because they bring in a lot of the characters. They were teenagers, or they were in like their early 20s in Initial D. And then once you go into MF Ghost, they come in as either consultants or trainers, or they are like, you know, masters of the road that come in and help do the announcer stuff. And they're the ones where the announcer looks at them and say, "Can you explain just what happened?" "Oh yeah, this is what he did," or "This is why he did it," or "This dude's nuts for even trying that," you know. But all those old characters are coming back. The guy, I think that they've already brought in, because they're on season 3 of MF Ghost. I think they've already brought in the guy who was driving the Evo 3. Don't hold me to that, but they just brought in I think it was once you get further into it, they got like God Hand, God Foot, you know, because the way that their shifting technique is, or their clutching technique, and they just brought one of those guys in at this last episode they released for season 3.
So it really starts to animate up.
Yeah, but they always reference back to Initial D.
Yeah.
Especially when they're talking about Takumi, and if you don't watch it before, you can be like, who knows that guy? What's so big about this dude that you're not seeing at all in this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend doing it. Otherwise, you're gonna miss half of what's going on. You're not gonna understand it.
Yeah, Takumi, I mean, he himself is, I don't really see it as a shonen, even though it is obviously geared for young boys, young adults, guys. Yeah. It's a racing, anime, but they get Takumi himself, in other shonen, you don't really see an introvert like this.
Yeah.
They're usually very extroverted, they're very caring, it's all about their friends, and I dare say shallow, in the newer ones, even though I love, even the newer animes. But Takumi himself, really introverted, and people will easily label him slow, of the mind, or, he's careless, or he's a goof, but he has, he doesn't show his feelings all that often, but through his inner monologues, you can hear all the gears turning, and he takes after his father, which is also a man of few words.
You'll get into the later stages then, because it goes more into how his mind works, and then that carries over to MF Ghost and the kid that he taught, and to see how he thinks and the way he thinks, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. So there's a lot of character development. I'm already sensing that, even in not having even finished season 1, Takumi has learned a lot. He's grown a lot. You can see how it's very natural, very realistic in how his characters grow.
Yeah, you'll really like him. It's like in stage 4, whenever he finally makes up his mind.
Yeah,
you see a difference. It's
finally makes up his mind.
Wow. Well, on what he wants to do with his life, because I mean he's a high schooler.
Right.
Once you get into stage 4, he kind of gets deeper into it, and then like I said, stage 5 was, to me, felt rushed, but they did it because it was like 10 years later. They need to close this anime.
Yeah.
They need to end it. And they finally did, and they kind of slammed it shut. But I think that's the reason why they did MF Ghost, is because they shut it so fast. They just, boom, we're done. But then it leaves so many questions about what's coming after. Yeah.
It's good to see that they're reviving something so beloved.
So, Raver Mom, what do you think about Initial D?
What?
This had to be the longest side discussion for that.
Listen, it's his first episode. I don't mind. It does not bother me at all. Although I will say I was a little offended, just a little, about the comment how it's more of a guy thing. Because I was gonna say, as a car person, I love cars and I love getting into cars and stuff like that, and I like going fast.
Just wait until stage 2 comes out. All the girl drivers come in.
Yeah. But I liked this one. I remember it was one of the ones. It was like after Studio Ghibli for us when you were watching it.
Yeah.
It kind of hooked me just because of the realness factor. I wouldn't say the artistry was my type in the beginning, but as you watch it, it's one thing that you can overlook, I feel like.
It's a very weird setup to have CGI in the middle of hand-drawn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. Even now, like, it's kind of weird for me to watch it. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't see any, like, issues with it to me. I mean, it's a racing, but I think it's one that even our kids, I think, might even get into. But
yeah, I mean, there's very... Okay, I guess with that comment, it kind of leans more into going into the parental stuff. There's not much language in it. There's little to nothing in there. It's very modest whenever it comes to dress. I think the biggest thing is the short skirts that all the the schoolgirl animes have. Other than that, there's a trip to the beach in there somewhere. You know?
It's overall like a family-friendly thing. But I liked watching it. I enjoyed watching it. I loved seeing all the different cars, and like you guys were talking about, like the whole realness factor for me.
Yeah.
I'm not personally a Fast and the Furious fan. I think to me it's way too Hollywood.
I'm going to be the extreme fan in the room for that.
Yeah, I liked Tokyo Drift. I did like that one, and I liked the very first one. But after that, I feel like the rest of them is just way too much. Well, there's way too much in it, especially now.
You like the street racing factor of it, which I'm hoping that they're going to keep to what they said, and they're going to go back into the street racing thing to end it off. I'm hoping. Yeah. That's what they keep promising, but they can promise a lot and not do it. So.
So you think it's a family-friendly show?
I think. I mean,
go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
From what I've seen, I feel like I could definitely see through the eyes of a young man.
I feel like Kid Koopa or Prince. I mean, even yours. Like, I feel like because they're teenagers.
Right.
Not many teenage girls. Like, I'm probably one of the weird ones, but like there are not many teenage girls out there that are into racing or into cars. Yeah. I love getting under the hood. I mean, like that's just me. But like Princess Mononoke, that's not going to be her thing. Like teenage girl, not so much. She's more into the, fantasy Disney princess. Oh my gosh, Studio Ghibli, like those kind of cutesy things.
Yeah. Fluffy.
Yes.
She would be more of a moe girl.
She asked me about Lucky Star the other day, and I was like wanting to throw up as I was talking about it. So
moe girl.
So it's definitely tailored to either a teenage boy. That's why I said I was only a little offended, because I do get it. I totally understand. But you're not gonna see like those. You're not gonna see a lot of girls in that kind of. Because girls aren't normal, like that's not the norm in that scene, So
it's not as common. I mean, I'm not all that into cars as far as the technical aspect of it. I love races. I love to see speed chases, things like that. But even in season 1, they're very technical about it. You know, about the cars, the capabilities,
Yeah.
weight distribution. They get
Yeah.
into it. So anybody who's a car fan out there, who likes, you know, getting under the hood, like you said, and the specs and the data, you know, this show is for you.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
you can actually build the motor
Yeah.
off of the specs from the anime.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that are insanely accurate to the anime, all the way down to the boring of the
That's
motor,
already been
to the way the intake is done up, to the horns that are on the side of it, all the way down to the suspensions. They literally took all the specs from the anime and they cars one to one.
Is this what got you into cars?
No.
Well, I can see how it could.
Yeah, it can definitely like get you into because of the realness factor.
It got me into wanting an S14. And to want to actually try drifting, but I don't have an S14,
right.
And I've drifted in a truck. That's about it.
Yeah. No, I gotta say the RX-7, I really like that, the one that KT had, the yellow one.
Yeah. That, like I said, that's the same year FD as what Han drove in Tokyo Drift. So you can take the body kit off, but that's what the base look of what that car from Tokyo Drift actually looked like.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And then what's really cool about the Takahashi brothers is Ryosuke had the new one, but
you can't even
his brother had the old one. They were both RX-7s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Shows how much I know.
It's an older generation and a newer generation. Both of them are rotary FDs. Yeah. They're really cool. Yeah, they're both RX-7s. They're both Mazdas. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would kind of ping a red flag is there's a character whose name you really don't hear, but in the credits his name is Papa. He's the guy who drives the white Mercedes, and he picks up the I can never remember her name. Takumi's love interest. How he randomly picks her up. Well, that is a little bit of a prostitution thing. They don't really pick up on that in the anime, but if you watch the live action, they emphasize it more.
That's too bad. The girl seems really innocent.
Well, she's doing it to help provide for her family. The guy takes care of the family's bills, medical, everything else, food on the table, and everything else. And once you get into the later stages, she starts to feel trapped by it because she really likes Takumi. And spoiler alert for you, Edgar.
No spoiler alert.
That's okay. Send it.
Stage 5 that peaks, which is where that's the reason why they had to do stage 5 is because they had to close that off.
Now we know that the Japanese see degrees. You know, in the Western world, obviously that's all prostitution to us.
Yeah.
You know, but in the Japanese culture, there's things such as
it's an escort thing. Yeah, okay. But it was an escort thing that went really far.
Okay, went too far.
Yeah.
Now the live action, because I've never seen the live action, is that Western done or is that Japanese done?
Japanese done.
Okay.
And they, what's cool about the live action is all of the cars are built accurate to the anime, and they drive the mountain that the mountain from the anime is based after.
Okay.
And the town that it's based after, and then the beach that they go to is everything is accurate. Like they use the inspiration locations for the anime and the manga in the real life version.
Well, that's good at least.
So it's all the way down to the tofu shop that they used for inspiration.
It's real.
It's legit.
That is so cool.
It's a cool thing to watch. The only big difference that I see between the live action and the anime is the live action. You can tell it's different actors, different philosophy, and the relationship between Bunta and Takumi is more comedic, where in the anime it's more like sensei student type deal.
Yeah.
Well, in the live action, it's son father bashing each other. You know, they're constantly like they're throwing jabs at each
That's
other
pretty
the
different.
entire time,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, like it's a lot of comedy.
Yeah. But there's no bad language.
No,
There's
No.
no.
like I said, the
nudity.
only huge thing is they emphasize the relationship between Papa and Natalie,
Yeah.
and they kind of they show more information. Like in the live action, it goes to a hotel that they're at. She's in a bathrobe and he's in a bathrobe, so it
It's
kind
implied.
of implies what's going on. Where in the anime, there's not that much implication. It's, you know,
Circumstantial.
yeah. So it
You got to read into it.
Yeah,
exactly.
like an adult
As an
would
adult.
understand it.
So
but
like me watching it at a younger age, I was like, what in the world are they doing? What the heck is this? What's the point?
Yeah.
You know, but is that, you know, it's like, is that a rich uncle or something?
Oh, they're on a long road trip and they're just
But
staying the night.
the once I got older, you know, and watching it again, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's messed up.
I mean, even now, because it is in season 1, I'm wondering who this guy is, because the voice actor, and I'm really good at recognizing voices. I have like a knack for it.
Yep.
And so it's in the English, Tokyo Pop is Steve Bloom,
Yep.
which also voices KT. So I'm thinking there's going to be this twist
Nope.
where she's seeing him, and there's going to be like a Karate Kid, you know, conflict.
So I passively gave you a spoiler.
Yes.
No, they are two completely different characters.
Which just blows my mind. I do hear Steve Bloom in some of the other supporting characters on the
Yeah.
side, the nameless ones.
Yeah.
But man, I can't stand it when they do something.
His voice is too iconic.
It
I mean,
is.
he doesn't change it enough.
That's right.
That's-
Anyone can recognize him.
Of course, that was earlier in his career, so I mean, he was probably finding himself because with Papa, he has that. Oh, she's in the snack drawer.
leave me alone.
With
Put your
with
hand in the cookie jar.
with the Papa character, you hear very much the Toonami guy.
Yes.
Only on Toonami, you
Oh,
know, that guy's there. But with Keisuke, it's kind of there,
Yeah.
just not as strong.
Well, that's another thing that I want to hit on is that the voice cast for the English is stacked. Like, these are superstars now.
Yeah, they weren't back then.
Yeah, and it's almost like one of those sitcoms you see where everyone's all like SNL or something. Everybody's together when they're young, and then they hit this pro level prestige, like Crispin Freeman and Quentin Flynn.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler was in Initial D.
No, he was an SNL.
Oh, I was saying, wouldn't that be funny? I can see him
He's
as
like, wait a minute, what I missed?
Sorry, I had to throw you off a little
I can
bit.
see him as Iggy.
I could see him as Bunta.
Yeah, so I was gonna put Rob Schneider in there. Like, Takumi, you can do it. That's like that'd probably be like the Netflix version, the remake.
That's terrible.
They'll
I'm gonna
put-
pray for you too.
Netflix, if you put Rob Schneider or Adam Sandler into a live Initial D, you better pay us. We thought of it first.
They go, they know how they do. They put Danny DeVito and The Rock, Wes Johnson in there.
Kevin Hart comes running out.
Yeah. That'd be great.
That's terrible.
Now we're talking Jumanji.
I'm surprised they haven't thrown Kevin Hart. No, they did. They did put Kevin Hart into a Fast and the Furious movie because of The Rock.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Yeah.
One of the newest ones.
That's his homie,
Yeah.
I kind of get it. Adam Sandler pulls in his friends. In
Yeah.
A lot of movies, so
Adam Sandler pulled a lot of those people out of the trenches through his career, and he did it like that on purpose.
Yeah. Hey, well, they're funny people too. I don't know. He's got a good team.
But yeah, so
I wouldn't. If you would have said Adam Sandler was in it, I really wouldn't have been shocked because I just came from the theaters watching Infinity Castle Demon Slayer, and I knew this. I had foreknowledge, but I heard Channing Tatum
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yep.
You can't once you
I
hear
was
it, you can't
actually
unhear it.
excited about that one.
You were.
Oh, what's funny is whatever they were doing the promo for that, and they were announcing the actors, and they had, like, he popped up in front of a mic, and his expression on his face was the same expression that was on the character. Like, he was full into it.
Yeah.
And I was excited to go see the dubbed version just because he was in there, even more before I found out. And then I realized I bought the sub tickets. So I didn't even get to see, I didn't even get to hear.
So we go premiere night, and we see it subbed.
And it's subbed, so, which is fine.
I
Because
prefer sub.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was just a tad bit bummed because I'm like, man, my favorite show, my favorite movie, like, okay, never mind. Getting over it real quick.
I'm not a sub or dub purist, but it's all depends on the anime for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having to watch season 3 of MF Ghost subbed right now, and
Once you get used to it, there's no going back.
I hear the dubbed voices in my head as I'm reading, but what's bad is I have to, like, watch it a second time so I can watch all the action sequences.
Wait, you're reading the subtitles, hearing the Japanese voice.
No, hearing the
American
English voice.
But even though this Japanese coming out of the TV.
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I could do that.
He's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, upgraded software there.
It's like even whenever we watched it.
I don't know what kind of implants he's got.
He's got that added RAM and.
Yeah.
I hear
That's
my.
where all the RAM went.
I talk to myself in my mind too, so I mean it's
Probably the
whatever.
only conversation he has.
That's because he's the main character.
He is, very much so.
I used to when I was younger, and this is bad to admit to. When I was younger, I always loved it whenever sitcoms would break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And so I'd randomly be walking through school and just something would come to my mind and I would look off into space and break the fourth wall and monologue myself and then keep going on.
I think there's something to that. You know, now that you say that, like I was a huge fan of Spider-Man, the animated series.
Yeah.
You know, the 90s one, I think, with the the rock intro.
Yeah.
Metal, and he would do that a lot.
Yep.
He would do a lot of monologuing in his head, inner monologue, and I think that there's something good to that. There's some introspection.
There you go, feeding his head again.
He doesn't think I'm nuts. He gets me.
Yeah, I do it sometimes.
That's why he keeps you around.
So 1 out of 10, what would you give Initial D?
From what I've seen, and I'm hooked. Overall,
Overall,
I'd give it an 8.
an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Raver Mom?
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah.
I'd be giving that thing a 9.5.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased with
Well,
it.
you saw it when you were younger too, right?
Yeah.
And this is before Mappa and Bones.
Yeah.
And
sentimental
and
value.
Demon
Yeah.
Slayer,
Yeah, way before.
So for me, I'm big into animation too. As far as like the style.
Yeah. Me, I like the story. I like the accuracy. I like the actor lineup. I like the comedy that's in it.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I watched it, the animation style bugged the living snot out of me.
Yeah.
But you know, you kind of get used to it after the first season.
I really did. I'm really used to it, and I think it's really good.
So
Well,
I
and
mean,
if you take all the context too, the time frame and all the things that gets added, the hand-drawn CGI, like you said, like having both of those. Like
You feel like it gets better?
Yeah. I mean, you take all of it into context, and I mean, because that's like when we were doing the Studio Ghibli season. Some of the movies we watched, it was like I hated the animation, but if you think about like the time period, how like who was doing it, how they were doing it, things like that, it's like okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like because it's one of the earlier animes or it's one of the earlier movies and stuff like that. So
it's also the only way they were going to give the cars the accuracy that they want.
yeah.
Budgeting. And focusing on different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost feel like as I'm watching it that I just forget all about the animation. Like, not to say that I'm not paying attention, but it's almost like you're playing a PS5, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back to playing PS2, and you immediately notice the difference. But give it an hour or two, and all of a sudden it's like realistic
Well,
to you.
once you get into it, you kind of get immersed into the story.
Yeah.
Because that story, it doesn't just stop where it begins. It moves forward, and the characters are growing. The tracks are getting harder. New characters are coming in, and those those side characters are also growing. And you are seeing teachers, you're seeing students, you're seeing advancements. So the story constantly grows. The character constantly grows. It's not a Pokemon thing where, you know, he never ages. No, he graduates high school. Bunta gives him the car. You know, he learns how to drive different types of cars. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes into him alone. And he learns from all of these racers that you see throughout the seasons. They give him tips. They show him new things. And he takes it all in. And he just gets better and better and better. You never see the same thing throughout all the seasons. He switches techniques and everything else.
Yeah.
But what I love the most is I don't think I ever saw him pull an e-brake. But
Of course, that would be his favorite thing.
But then in MF Ghost, you see his student rip the e-brake for a hairpin. But you don't see him. He clutch kicks everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look up and see what that is.
Which whenever you talk about drifting, clutch kicking is the most control you can have. Which you'd have to know about the techniques of drifting to know that. A clutch kick is a more controlled thing, and you keep more power to the wheel. But whenever you rip the e-brake, you have to compensate automatically. And so
one is like using a hammer, the other one's like using a scalpel.
Yeah, it's really cool to again see true technique in that anime. And then once they get to, you know, MF Ghost, of course they're going to pull in what is popular. Every drift racer I know loves the e-brake.
Yeah.
They don't clutch kick much at all. That technique has kind of gone out the window, but they love pulling the fancy hydraulic e-brake that they installed. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I'd give it a 9.5. So I mean, if we tally it all together, it's basically an 8.5. So, Rebs Otaku Talk gives Initial D an 8.5, and I can live with that.
You can sleep at night now.
Well deserved.
So, this season is all about looking at the character traits of the different characters in the animes. We pick a specific character, and we look at the different character traits. And, I mean, all of us are going to see different traits, and that's the awesome thing about us being individuals. We all notice different things that stick out to us. And, whenever we do this discussion, I mean, normally they kind of mold into each other, which is kind of cool.
We are not molding today, just so you know.
We're not molding today?
Not today.
Why aren't we molding?
She wants to fight.
I do.
I
woke up and chose violence.
Why do you want to be violent, Raver Mom? What did you see?
I think you need to go first.
Okay.
Show your buddy Techs-Mechs over here how it's done.
Oh,
or
geez,
not done.
Thanks.
No pressure.
No pressure, thank you.
I can go first.
Looking at, you want to go first?
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to. Have at it.
Yeah. I think, at first I thought, like, Takumi, before you even knew that he was the racer behind the 8.6.
Yeah.
He just had no idea anything about racing. Like, he was just a normal guy, didn't have anything to do with any of that.
Yeah.
And so when you find out he is the racer, he is the driver behind the fabled, at 8.6, it's like, what was he trying to hide? you know. But it wasn't so much that he was trying to hide anything. It was just that he's really modest.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he was humble, but to be humble, you have to make yourself lower than
Yeah.
others. You have to feel like you're there to serve. You're not only are you not that great, but you want to lift others up.
Yeah.
And so I downgraded from humility to modesty, where he's like, I'm not that great. I'm not as awesome as you say. But then I watched that episode when he faces off against the Night Kids.
Yeah.
And the shop owner, the gas station owner, convinces him to go race, but he convinces him by using his pride.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not saying you're not allowed to have bouts of humility and bouts of pride, but
Yeah.
if he was really a humble character, that pride wouldn't have pulled him to go race, because he went to race purely for himself.
Yeah.
And to prove something. A humble heart doesn't have to do that. But of course, they're teens, and like you said, there's character progression, there's growth. But I think modesty, coming from that introverted personality where he's kind of hands off, very reserved, really fits him. And I really enjoy that about him too, because like you say, he's gonna really open up, make up his mind. But I think modest is definitely one of the characteristics that he owns at this point, season 1.
Going off of a lot of things that you've said, and I get what you're saying, and I agree.
But I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. See, that's the nice thing about all this stuff, is the fact that, again, we all see things that the other person won't. Me, at certain points of what you were talking about, I see him as naive. Like the whole thing of him, getting talked into going up against the Night Kids. Dude was just gullible. He went straight into the into the trap. That's what that was. He got talked into it, and he tickled his pride, and that's what he used to get him to finally take the step. But throughout the beginning, the way I saw it is that he had no idea what he was doing. All he wanted to do was get up the mountain really fast and get back down so he can go back to bed. Mm-hmm. And I think he even said that at one point in the season. I didn't want to stay out all morning. I wanted to go home and go back to bed, So I started going faster and faster and faster, and I noticed this and I noticed that, and he didn't know he was doing something amazing. And that's part of being naive, is you're kind of dumb to what you can do. Yeah. Everybody, you're fantastic. What?
So he was really ignorant of the fact that it was exceptional.
And that's kind of the way I saw it, saw his beginning. As he grew, then I could see the modesty thing, because you're talking a little further from what, where I automatically started thinking. Because I started thinking at the beginning, is he was very naive at the beginning. But whenever it comes to him getting better and better and better, I see, he is a very modest guy. You also see where he starts to become humble. There's a lot of it where he does become humble, and he, again, he's gonna evolve, man. You see him become humble. You see him become aggressive. You see his pride. You see him become protective. You see him grow up, and it's, but to me, he started out as completely ignorant and naive to what he was even doing. I mean, at 14 years old, he starts being sent up the mountain to deliver because Dad was impaired, and he got his butt beat because he messed up the tofu on that first run. And then Dad's like, you're going to start doing it every morning. You're going to learn how to drive. And puts the cup of water in the holder. And just don't slosh it out of the rim.
I almost want to say that this must be based on something true.
There are so many people who try to drive with a cup of water.
Well, not so much the water, but the fact that it's something that a dad would do. Like, hey, you messed up, so now this is gonna be a regular thing.
Yeah.
And because of that, Takumi sees this thing as a punishment. So he doesn't see it as a positive thing,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning. So how could how can a discipline that my dad or a task that my dad gives me be anything good?
Yeah.
It's just a chore.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's so much. The writer of the story, there's got to be a real story behind it.
Very complicated, dude.
It was funny. When I was in high school, I was in 9th grade, and I took driver's ed. And this was before I moved to Sebring, before I met him. And the driver's ed teacher was an older gentleman. He was white, older gentleman. And he actually gave that as a challenge to all his students, to have a cup of water or a liquid in the middle console. And he I don't remember what the prize was, but if a student could do that, they would get a prize. I think it was like an automatic gate or something like that. So I actually tried. I would purposely put like a cup in my middle console when I got my first car, and I tried when we moved to Sebring, and shortly after I met Rev, I would literally race down the what's that main highway? Is it the Parkway?
Well, you talking about the new one that linked from where you lived at to the Walmart?
No, the main one going from Avon Park all the way down to Lake Placid. It's literally the main one. Is it 27?
Yes.
So I would I would come
race.
the long way. Yeah, I would come the long way, and I would literally race from the south part of the lake all the way up to where I worked, which was almost the exit part of where we lived. And trying to, and even still now, I'll have like my drink in the middle of the car or whatever, and I will try to I'll try to come to a complete stop at a stop sign.
This sounds oddly
whatever.
familiar.
It's a good way to...
It was funny because like whenever I started watching the Initial D with him, it was like, I do that. That's so weird.
It's a good way to learn acceleration and braking control. Yeah. It's a good way to learn how to properly turn. I mean,
that was my teacher's whole point. Like,
he's probably a fan.
Control. I know, right?
Yeah,
but
probably.
That was his thing. The whole thing of controlling your car, controlling the movement, controlling your movements, and everything like that. And but it was kind of funny how that was actually in the show. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's actually valid.
Somebody better have done that. And he actually had a student. He's had one student previous years ago, like before I got in his class, that actually did it or tried to do it. Came back and was like, I've done it, da da da, and he still didn't do it. Like
he must have had self-dampening struts on it whenever that happened.
Yeah. So, but it was funny. That whole thing was funny.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Rev. We've only scratched the surface of what makes Takumi so legendary in this episode. But the road doesn't end here. This episode ran extremely long, so we're going to cut it into a part 1, part 2. So we're going to end it here for today, but next time we're going to go even deeper. Stay tuned next week for part 2.
Initial D.